afternoon, everybody. I hope you had a great weekend. So, good news. My sister-in-law just had her baby, and it's a girl. She had her baby on February 5th of 2026 at 10:19 p.m. So she is about 7 pounds. So her name is Elizabeth Margaret Blake. And yes, she's adorable little baby. So Chris and I are going to see her for the first time in March. So we're going to drive about 6 hours. And we're just going to, finally see the baby and get to hold her. And, we're going to see her big brother as well. So, yes. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing all right. Yeah. So, anyway, sorry, my microphone sometimes do weird shit. I was just trying to change the style for the color. Anyway, on today's episode, we are doing the story called The Door That Wasn't There Yesterday. That is the new story, something to do with paranormal stuff. Anyway, yes, Chris and I are literally, just being very happy with, our niece being born. So, my friend Fearless, he's doing all right as well. So sometimes, I'm just too excited to see the baby. Hi, Fearless. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Miss Anya. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. I'm about to work on the story, and I was just telling everybody on live that my sister-in-law just had her baby last week. So
yeah, do you have her social security number?
Whose social security? I got my own.
Not the baby's. Do you know what the baby's social security number is?
Why would I? She doesn't have one yet. She's too young to have it.
We need to get one so we can get some stuff put in her name.
No, the baby's birthday is February 5th of 2026.
I know. We need to tell her, the baby's mom, Katrina, that we need the baby's social security so we can go get some stuff.
I'm pretty sure Chris and I just go buy stuff when she needs it. I mean, yeah. Chris is here too.
I need that social, so we need to get it.
Well, I'll talk to Chris about it later. He's actually here right now, participating.
We need the social security number. Miss Anya.
Maybe Chris could talk to his sister about it.
Okay. Well, either way, as long as I get it, that's fine.
I'm not sure if Katrina would, want that for her daughter right now, but her daughter is way too young to have.
Her daughter, I think that her daughter should. I think that her daughter should invest in our car fund. I was thinking about getting an additional car, and I think that the baby should pay for it.
Not till she's like in her teenage years. She's not gonna have it right now.
I think we should have the money.
We should probably just wait till Elizabeth is like 16.
I don't want to wait 16 years for the for her to give us the social security number. I need that social security number within like the
Why?
next month so we can
Why
go
would
get
you
a
do
new
that?
car. Huh?
Why? She's way too young. She's just been born a week ago. She's not gonna have it now until she's old enough.
Yeah. Okay, well
So,
that makes sense. Okay, that's fine.
I mean, she's only like a week old, and Chris and I are going to see Katrina and the kids and the dogs and like on March 5th.
Yeah.
It's a 6-hour drive. And Christopher says hello. So he says on his first text that I love the guest star who this guy. He's just being a little funny sometimes, but Christopher says hello, Fearless.
I can see it. I'm looking right at it.
So we have a new story. It is called The Door That Wasn't There Yesterday. So what do you think about this story, Fearless? I'm
You
about to
know
read.
what, Miss Anya, I have a story that I wanted to talk about, and it's called "Why the Ghost That Farted."
Dude, that's pretty funny, but I think people would not want to hear that. So
They do want to hear that.
he says that he took the door. That's what Chris is saying. He's just being funny. Chris, I know you didn't take the door.
What door?
Fearless is here on the camera if you want to say hi. So he's just
I
being
can see
funny
him.
as well. So
Go ahead, Miss Anya.
all right. So thanks guys for listening to this, and let's get started on the ghost story. Just sit back, relax. Please click like, share, and subscribe. If you want to see Fearless's podcast, he's right here. It's called Read with Fearless. He talks about all his books and other school stuff or whatever, speech. You're always welcome to check out his podcast. People would love that, but he would love your support. And if you have any questions, you can always leave him a comment down below. If you have any questions about my podcast, you can always leave me a comment down below. So let's get started on this story. This is still season 4, episode 82. So just sit back and relax and let's get started. The Door That Wasn't There Yesterday. This is still season 4.
Guys, okay. Sort of grill him about trans. And I'm going to have some thoughts that I pepper in, and then I want to ask what you think in the comments. But why don't we check this out together?
One of your functions over time has been to communicate scientific knowledge to the public.
Yeah.
And that's why I was quite surprised to hear you talk about the idea that we all exist on a spectrum where you wake up one day and you feel like you're more female and more male.
The XXXY chromosomes are insufficient. Because when we wake up in the morning, we exaggerate whatever feature we want to portray the gender of our choice. Suppose no matter my chromosomes, today I feel 80% female,
kind of weird, but
20% male. I'm gonna put on makeup.
I think it might be my story,
tomorrow I might feel 80% male. I'll remove the makeup and I'll wear a muscle
let's
shirt.
Continue on.
Why do you
when
care?
Anya touched it, her mind flooded
what business is it of yours to require that I fulfill
almost made
your inability to think of gender on a spectrum? My
fear
only point
each
was
vision
that if who you decide as male and female in the street is a construct of style and trends and what the beauty industrial complex wants you to see, if that's how we establish gender,
story is finished.
then maybe some people want to be fluid within that gender.
It whispered.
Identify.
Not
So
on
they'll wear a skirt, but maybe have a beard, or they'll mix and match that in whatever way they want. So hold on, I'm not wait, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. So
somehow the
if
way
a person using the tools of the beauty industrial complex wants to mix and match this,
the door leaving
they are
behind
expressing
only what
their
was
freedom
already done.
in a free country to do so.
Now that's a story.
Why
So,
is your job to
Felix,
tell
what do you
them
think
not
about
to?
this story?
Okay.
That's my only point. And so I'm speaking of gender
This
expression
story
and the
is
freedom
like
to do
my
so.
story, but I've never
And
had
if you want to restrict that,
anyway,
then what country are we living in?
like the door
So
was
first of
about
all,
to be
I don't know a
taken
single
somewhere,
person,
but
and we've talked to trans people on the show. We have trans employees at Trigonometry. We've spoken to all sorts of people about this issue.
Anyway,
I do not know a single person who wants to prevent people from dressing how they want, or behaving how they want, or choosing any name that they want. However,
so you don't, but you know such people are out there.
I'm sure such people exist in the same way that there are people who believe that the earth is flat and so on, but they're a tiny minority. It is not a tiny Fair point. However, what I would say is that the conversation in the public consciousness has become prominent not between people who want to defend the right of anyone to dress how they want and the people who want to prevent that. The reason the conversation has become an issue is that we assign and allow certain privileges to people based on their sex. If you are female, you get to go to places that only other females are in, like changing rooms and toilets and so on. If you are female, you get to compete only with people of your sex because females are at a disadvantage in physical competition to males in almost every sport. In other words, we carve out certain areas where your sex matters tremendously, even though we may respect your right everywhere else to believe that you are whatever you are, to dress however you are, etc. So your claim that today you woke up and put lipstick on and grew your hair out long and tweezed out your moustache and whatever, and therefore you are female, has an impact on other people in certain contexts in which that is a problem.
You gave only two contexts.
Sorry, I wasn't finished. And in those contexts, it is essential, people would argue, to protect women from unfair competition and from various risks for which female-only spaces already exist. That's why people are having this conversation. It's not out of bigotry.
You have more than those two examples.
I'm not sure that's entirely true, that it's not out of bigotry. I think there's an enormous amount of bigotry involved in the conversation.
Each of those in turn. But you have more than those two.
Leave me a comment.
Probably not. Okay. So
right here,
let me address those two examples directly. I'll address them.
Sports is very important.
I said that.
Female
I remember. So
sports and bathrooms.
I think it might be temporarily because
you don't seem to have a third example. So, and even if you do, we presume that would be a very distant third compared to those two cases.
No, there's a third one I can give you very easily in this country. For politics, we have female-only shortlists for positions in Parliament. Therefore, you claim that...
That's interesting. Okay.
Well, that's another example. I can give you more. So, female-only shortlists, there are certain targets within corporations for diversity targets to have a certain number of women on the board. Therefore, when you make a claim that you are female, you are attempting, whether intentionally or not, to put yourself into categories that are deliberately designed to protect women's interests. That is the concern that people have. So there's 4 examples for you there. Please
address them. Sure. So interesting about the Parliament. I have to look into that. To find out is it try to ensure the representation of women? Is that the goal?
Yeah,
okay, fine. It's a perfectly noble cause there.
So spirits can literally try to communicate with
changing spaces. Okay,
they want us to see what's going
that's
on.
A solvable problem, of course, and we basically have accomplished that here in Manhattan, where I live. Practically all bathrooms are either multi-gender or solo bathrooms, so only one person at a time, or you walk into a space and there's stalls that are closed off, but then you exit the stall and you come to a communal sink. Okay, so it's a solvable problem where everyone has a private space rather than themselves, rather than having a gender private space.
It'll be like
okay,
in the future,
it's solvable.
what it is in the
On
past.
a level. By the way, let me give an example. We have a school from
the door is
early
only there
20th century in New York, and it's.
As it
and I
wants to
just saw it the other day.
So
There's an entrance here and an entrance there, and this entrance says girls, and this entrance says boys. It's like, what the fuck?
Probably not
What?
ordinary door. It might be something.
I can look back on that and say that was ridiculous. You guys,
door to the
what
heavens.
were you thinking?
Probably.
But back then, I'm sure it made complete sense. They're going to send the girls through that entrance, and there's an elementary school, and the boys through that entrance. Okay, so it is possible to look back on whatever you were doing and say, my gosh, that was really short-sighted, and look at the solution that was proposed and implemented. That was a good idea. We moved on from that. Okay, so I remember boys' rooms where you come out and you whip it out, and we'd all be peeing into a trough. Okay, we don't have those anymore.
We do because we're technologically very far behind.
Okay, so it's a little, and then we had urinals just lined up on a wall. That was a little more private, and now those urinals have little small but real dividers, so you're not like looking over. So there are solutions to the privacy problem, and we've all but solved that here. I can't speak for every state in the United States. Definitely here in New York City, the bathrooms. It's not all right. There's that. Second, with sports, very interesting. There was a case where a woman wanted to be disqualified. They wanted to disqualify her from an event.
Leave me a
and she had very big muscles, and she had naturally high testosterone levels.
Why does it help?
And she genetically
maybe because the memories being
high testosterone levels, and so that weirded everybody out. I'm wondering whether the future
it wants us to relive.
You don't contest gender with gender.
Final moment.
You contest hormone ratios.
Well, hold on a second. But the difference is physiologically between men and women, and not just hormonal. Women have a different hip angle. They have different heart capacity. They have different lung capacity. I mean, there are profound physiological differences, different bone density. We've had.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway,
I think that Neil deGrasse Tyson's point is you can try and keep everybody in the boxes that they're in. Or you can look for ways to solve emerging problems, right? And the bathroom example is one of those. The infrastructure. Yeah, sure. It's going to involve some change.
They're just trying to figure out how
it's going to involve some change. But the alternative is basically to say, all right, well, you can wear your hair long and you can put on nails or whatever you want to do, but you can't go in the bathroom. I mean, somebody eventually is going to be the arbiter of where those lines are drawn, and you're doing that because you don't want to make any change to existing systems. In sports, I'm going to let them finish talking.
Let's go to number 5.
Fine. So I don't have a problem with that. So then you find ways to slice the population so that whatever the event is interestingly contested. So, for example, I wrestled in my life. I was captain of my high school wrestling team. It would be unfair for me at 190 pounds, which is what I was back then, to wrestle someone 120 pounds.
Hold on, it would actually be unfair for you to wrestle someone who's also 190 pounds, but
let me work my way there. Let me just work my way there, because I respect how active your brain is. But I've thought about all this, and just allow me to speak at the rate that I do. Okay, so
it kind of looks like that.
It would be unfair. So they have
if I didn't have any possibilities,
categories.
It's like it never even existed.
So I don't wrestle. I wrestle a 180 pounder. So a wrestling match is not just this one person against the other person.
This is why we have to do a research to investigate a lot of places that are haunted and trying to.
So,
read the stories and try to figure out how to explain it better.
Is foisting upon us.
Let's go to number 6.
The need to
is
find
knowledge always mercy?
Athletic universe.
What do you guys think about that? Please let me know on the comments down below.
Is it a combination of did you go through puberty
Is knowledge always a mercy?
As a male and then transition? Did you have puberty blockers? What is your hormone level now? If you want to compete. So it requires more creative thought. Rather than saying no to it all, let's be creative about this as we were with wrestling, as we are with practically any other sport. In rowing, there's a heavyweight rowing and there's lightweight rowing. They don't compete against each other. Somebody came up with that to resolve the problem because more than one category of person wanted to compete. So I agree with you, it's an unsolved problem. Yes, but it's not unsolvable given what we know about
is knowledge always mercy?
Rise to that.
Let me know in the comments, even though you're
take your
busy with your job and stuff.
View of the world.
I think it is
modern emergent conduct of people to fit that.
You just have
okay,
to.
Well, can we just come back to the female shortlist and other opportunities that women are afforded by virtue of being women? And then now being excluded from that because males are entering that competition.
Yeah, so a deeper problem, thank you for bringing that up. A deeper problem there is why were women underrepresented to begin with? What kind of bias exists within
witnessed a lot of weird
voters,
stuff going
maybe
on.
even the female voters that prevented the representation from being there.
We have the last question before I sign up.
Question.
Would you open it?
Can and should be answered at a deeper level.
No, I wouldn't.
Than a quota
I would probably
coming
just
in after the fact.
Oh, I'm not a fan of quotas, but if
I would address that
see
question.
how it works.
Hold on a second, that's not addressing
if I want to open it, I
the
would.
question is, female shortlist
But if
exists.
you guys think
Should
you
biological
shouldn't
males
open
be
it,
allowed to enter
I
those
say
female
just leave
shortlists?
it alone.
That's as
Try
simple
not
as
to
the
mess
question
with
is.
anything like that.
Yeah, I'm saying I would ask why you have the short list in the
So
first place.
if the
It's
door
because there's something
wants you to open it, I say just stay away from the
that's
door.
wrong with society
There
that
something
underrepresented
the
in
other
governance.
side, just
So to
That's an interesting point because it
do not go anywhere near the
does
door.
scratch how gendered our society
You can,
is.
like, I don't know, call
And you can say, well, that's
professionals.
because there's
Those
men
are
and women, and that's just the way things
psychic
are.
medium
But
people.
I get really skeptical when
You can do some
that's just the way
research.
things are. Argument
You
comes
can,
up.
like, I don't know,
Certainly,
go online
there
and
are
find
some
out
differences
why is
between
that door
very broadly speaking. I'm not
in your
denying.
house, like, is
But
it
it's also
an
silly.
ordinary door or is it
Social
something
norms
else?
that
Maybe
are
something demonic might
stringently
be
pushed
there.
and
I would
reinforced
suggest
for a
stay
variety of
away
reasons.
from it. If
that-
you see this some weird door,
Listen to these
like
guys.
somewhere
Listen to
else,
these guys.
Maybe a
You know,
portal.
sort of grit.
I think
that's
it's
what
a
I'm trying to
portal
tell you.
I love that they gave him
to-
the last word on that.
in the afterlife.
Okay,
Like,
that's how I would approach this.
Women
So
will
yeah,
go
we're in the middle of solving that problem now.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out together.
I think a lot of people would
want
have an issue with what you're
investigated,
saying, Neil, is because they see
at the
women
same time, I would
in
want to stay away
opportunities.
from
They
it.
see
I
an
would
unfair
probably
playing
just
field,
leave it
metaphorically
closed.
and literally speaking.
So fix the
I'd
playing
probably
field, damn it.
leave it
But
alone.
don't say
Why
it's
would
an
you
unfair
guys?
playing field. So
Anyway,
all of a
we
sudden
are
the big
out of
issue
time.
is trans
So
women
thank you,
taking the
guys.
spot of a woman in an unfair playing field. Fix the playing field. And you know
Fearless,
something?
thank you for
The day you fix that
participating
playing
in
field,
this.
this conversation
Chris,
will look
thank you
completely
for
ridiculous.
participating a
That's what
little
I'm
bit.
trying to tell you.
I love that
Next
they gave him the last word on
episode,
that. Because
which is tomorrow,
really this
we'll be
conversation
doing
does get
a story called "Something Was Sleeping Under Her Name." This is the new one. Some of these stories can be like, I don't know, something about me, but anyway, we are out of time. So thank you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and we'll try to figure out what the stories actually are, trying to answer it. So,
Coming from the black community.
yes, Chris,
Literally,
maybe
America
we
is
can
crumbling
take
to
it
pieces,
down.
and you have barely heard.
Most psychic mediums and find out
And I
what
actually
is
find it
really going on with that door.
surprising that people
But yeah,
actually
so
expect
thank you guys,
black people to
and
feel
we'll see you
sorry
tomorrow.
or feel some
Have
type
a
of
great
sympathy
day
for
and
the
stay
downfall
safe.
of America
And happy
after
Valentine's
everything
Day.
that
So,
America has put us through. Do you really think that we're all in silence sitting back thinking about now we can
both of our
fix this shit
channels?
and we can bring things back to the
Check
way they
out
were?
Fearless's podcast. Read with
No.
Fearless.
We do not want things to go back to the way they were.
Podcast.
And you know what's crazy? I think a lot of people mistake this silence that's coming from the black community as a lack of awareness, as if we don't know what's going on. You might see us dancing, having fun, and playing around and shit still.
So
You might
you can
think,
follow me
these
on
niggas just
TikTok
don't take
and on
shit seriously.
Instagram.
But I'll tell
Have
you
a great
what,
day
at
and
a certain
see you
point,
all
niggas
tomorrow.
will stop dancing. Niggas will stop singing.
Bye.
Niggas will stop going along
Bye,
to get
Fearless.
along. But we know
And I'll
we're
see you
fortunate.
upstairs in a little bit.
Okay.